Hi guys, this is Year 10 yearly exam revision. So we got some 3 strands that we're going to go through. Number and algebra, 1. Second will be measurement geometry. And third will be statistics and probability. Hopefully we can get through this in one video. Alright, first I'm going to go with expand and simplify. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read out the questions and not just going to write the important part if it's worded questions. Okay, so this one I'm just going to have to expand this bracket. So it'll be 6 plus 10d, be careful with the minus minus, plus 2d. Okay, so and they collect the like terms. So I'm going to do this one first, minus 4 plus 12d. And that's it. You don't have to write a 12d minus 4. If you want to, you're welcome to do it, but I don't see any urgency to do that. So next question is solve. Now when it gets to solve, it means I want the value, okay, value, the answer at the end, the number. So it'll be 4x minus 18, equals 18 minus x over 2. Now, in this case, you have to really feel uncomfortable with the fractions here. So we need to get rid of the fraction. So I want to times by 2 on all of these, all 3 terms, okay, equally. So that would be double of 4, 8x. Double of 18, 36. Now this one, when you times it, this becomes just x because of that 2 of denominator will disappear. That's the whole point of it times by 2. And then I'm going to move this x to the other side, so it could be positive, equals 36, 9, x equals 36, x equals 4. Okay, so 4 times 9, 36. That wasn't too bad. So make sure when you see the fractions in the questions, you need to get rid of that first. It's just easier. Next one, indices. 224. Okay, oops, sorry, 2. Now, I want to sort this out first. So 2 to the power of 42, not a problem. 2 to the power of double of minus 20, minus 40. Now, which is a times in same base, you add the power together, which will give me 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. Okay, so be careful with the negative. Even if it's a negative, it's a times, you add the power. And it's all possible because the base was the same. If the base was different, you can't do anything about it. Okay? Next one. Factorization. 12x cubed y squared minus 32x squared y. Now what is a common factor here? I mean the highest common factor will be good. Even if it's not, it doesn't really matter, you can just factorize twice. Okay, I can see 4 as my highest number out of 12, common factor. And then I'm going to take the minimum, maximum power, you can take it out in both cases, which is x squared, because that's maximum that can take it out, and the y squared. So on this one, I took a 4. That'd be 4 and 3, isn't it? So I've got 3 left, and I can take 2 out, 1 left, it's all gone out, minus 4, 8, x squares come out. Oh, I made a mistake, It's a good mistake, I can only take 1 y, because remember, the maximum power you can take it out for each polynomials. So x was squared, y was just 1, and I can take that and got left nothing. That just changes y here minus 1. Okay, so I am going to confuse you completely, yeah, and you're gonna really love me for that. Yes, I've done something wrong there, so I'm gonna do 4, 8. Yep, okay, that will be better. So I got that, so I took 4 out, I'm left with 3, I'm left with 8. I'm taking squared out, so it's the x here. I only take the y there, and then I take x, y. There you go. And if you don't believe me, just times this together, see whether you can get that. And I will get that. Beautiful, excellent. Okay, next one. I'm just rushing a little bit because I want to get this done in one video. So you'll have to check whether I'm doing it right. 9y 2x squared. Okay, so here we go. You can do 2 ways. You can actually cancel out, simplify first, and then bring it all together, or you just times it on the top, times it on the bottom together, denominators together, numerator together, and then cancel out. Well, let's do that. So what's that? 18xy on the top, the numerators, and the denominator with 6x squared y. Okay, now we have to simplify. So on the top, I've got 3 left. On the bottom, I've got x left. So it'll be 3 over x. But you can cancel this first and then do it. It's either way it works, but sometimes when you have to cancel a lot, it's a bit hard to see what you got left at the end. So sometimes it's maybe you might have to times it together and then simplify. That's up to you. Now listen carefully this one. I'm not going to write this down. A car is bought for $48,800 and it is sold 6 years later. It depreciates at 12% per annum over that time. Calculate its selling price. Now this is a depreciation, not compounded. Okay, so what are you going to do? What's the formula we have to use? So depreciation is P principal 1 minus the rate and times by the power of n. So P principal was 48,800. 1 minus, what's the rate? 12%. So that's in the decimal, 0.12, and 6 years later. So you put that in your calculator, you will get roughly to the nearest dollar, 22,663. Okay, that's how much it was sold 6 years later. Okay, not too bad. You got to ride for 6 years. I suppose that's okay. Okay, next one. What is the solution to this pair of simultaneous equations? So I'm going to give you a simultaneous. Now I'm going to give you an easy one. This is not one of those other videos, it was a bit tricky. But if you want to challenge yourself, please have a look at the other video that with the simultaneous equations. Yeah. Okay, so we got that. Oh, this is easy. I told you it's easy. So I'm just going to do 1 minus 2 because I want to eliminate the 3b's. So if I add them, I'm still going to have a and b together. So I don't want that. I just want a 1. So I'm going to take away, that will change to plus. I'm going to cancel that out. So what happens, I'm going to minus 3a. So I'm going to do minus here. So that means it's going to be, if I expand this, it'll be minus here, it's going to be plus here, it's going to be minus. Yeah? Think ahead, guys. So 5a take away 3a is 2a. That'll cancel out. 5 minus 9 is minus 4. A equals minus 2. Not bad, minus 2. And then I'm going to substitute a equals minus 2 into either one of them. Doesn't really matter, so I'm going to do 1. 5 times minus 2 minus 3b equals 5. That's minus 10. 5. If we go to the other side, minus 3b equals 15. So b, if you divide it by minus 3, divide by minus 3, minus 5. So your answer, A is minus 2, B is minus 5. And then you can check this one. So if I want to check this, I will substitute left-hand side with the number 1 equation. Left-hand side will be 5 times minus 2 minus 3 times minus 5. It will be minus 10 plus 15, which is 5, which is the right-hand side. So my answer is correct. Okay, so that's not too bad. And the next question, hopefully, let's see what we've got. Oh, measurement and geometry. Okay, so measurement geometry, you've got areas and volumes and surface areas, all that, and then graph, and then trigonometry. Okay, so all those things will happen in this section, but I'm not going to do all of them, but some of them. Okay, so practice if you're stuck with something. And let's have a look. So I've got this prism, triangular prism. So I'm going to go, I'll just draw it roughly. Okay, something like that. And the height here is 120 centimeters, and that's a 90 centimeters, and this is 200 centimeters. Okay, I need to find the volume. The volume is area of base times height. Now, if I put this prism, triangular prism, upstanding, that would be my base, wouldn't it? Okay, and that's my height. All right, so area of triangle is half times base times the height, and then I'm going to times by 200 because that's my height of the prism. So if you put that all in the calculator, you get 1,080,000 centimeter cube. Oops. Okay, so that's what you're going to get. All right, so anything to do with the volume is a lot easier than the surface area because it's less work to do. Only you have to do is find the area of base and then times by height will give me the volume. Okay, now remember volume and the surface area is a 3D, but just the area is a 2D. Okay, so next one. I'm going to sketch number plane here, y, x, and 1, 2, that's my A, 2, 4, 6, 8, 6, 4, 2, that's my B. Okay, the question says a line on the number plane crosses the x-axis at A and the y-axis at B. Okay, and what is the equation of the line? Okay, so basically it's asking to find equation of this line. Okay, what do we need? We need two things to find the equation of line: gradient and a point. All right, so how am I going to find the gradient? That's not too bad. We can do it manually, not algebraically. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so that's a 6. So that's a 2 and 6. Okay, the gradient will be rise over run. Gradient A, B. Rise over run. So rise will be 6, run will be 2. But remember, this is going to the left. I'm going to put negative because it's a negative. Or you can use a 2 points gradient. So A is what? Minus 2 and 0. B is 0 and minus 6, yeah? So you can use the formula M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So which will be minus 6 minus 0, 0 minus 2, which is the same as what we got here. So which will give me minus 3. Now you can do gradient point formula or gradient an intercept formula. So I'm going to just use intercept. So y equals minus 3x plus b, because that's mx plus b. I'm just using this. And I know the gradient is minus 3. Now b, this is a b. Add, you have to just pick any point, one of them. So I'm going to do minus 2 and 0. So y is 0, x is minus 2. I just have to find the b. So that's minus 6 plus b, isn't it? So therefore b equals 6. So my equation is minus 3x plus 6. Okay? So that's what I have. Oh! I'm wrong, because that's what? Minus 3 times minus 2 is plus, isn't it? So, and then if I move this plus 6 to the other side, is minus 6, so it becomes minus. Okay, so the answer is that. And if you use the point gradient and points formula, you will get the same answer. Okay, it's not too bad. All right, so let's have a look at next one. So make sure you know what do we need. Let's recap on this. So if you want to find the gradient of a line, you need to have a gradient, equation of the line. You have to find the gradient and a point. Okay, you need to find the point. Okay. Now, what do we do? If I need to sketch y equals 4 minus 2x on the line, now I'm going to change this one into gradient first and the y-intercept there. Okay, so my gradient is minus 2 and that's my y-intercept. But let's be sure, y-intercept, I'll get y-intercept when x equals 0. That's the first thing you've got to do. X-intercept when y equals 0. So when x equals 0, my y is 4. So my point will be 0 and 4. Okay? And then when y equals 0, I'm going to swap this. X equals 2. So it'll be 2 and 0. Okay? So my graph will look like, that'll be 4, that'll be 2. So it's going like that. And it makes sense, right? Because it's going to the left. So it's a negative gradient. Okay? So if you have to sketch a line, straight line, the best you have to find y-intercept and x-intercept. Okay? Or anything, I mean, any graph. Your first step is really y-intercept and x-intercept. Would be a fantastic way of doing it. Okay? But if it was the other way around, find the equation, you need to have gradient and a point. Okay, let's have a look at this. Listen carefully on this one. This is a bearing question. Town C is 20.1 kilometers due east of town A. Town C is due south of town B. Town B is 24.5 kilometers from town A. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, let's have a look. So, I've got, I'm going to start with town A. So that's a north, south, east, west. Okay? So, C is due east of town A. So, this east, I'm going to go, that's my C here somewhere. And that's a 20.1 kilometers. Okay, so I'm going to do another there. So that's town A, that's town C. And then town C is due south of town B. Due south of town B. So, I don't know, somewhere town B here. And if I sketch it, because C due south of B is C. Okay? And then town B is 24.5 kilometers from town A. So that would be 24.5 kilometers. Okay, so that's not too bad. So we got town A, B, C there. And that's right angle. How do I know? Because it's a due something. Due west, due east. That's right angle. Now, find the bearing of town B from town A. So it starts from town A to the B. So bearing, always start from true north, from there. That's the bearing we're looking for. Okay? So if I want to find that, I know that's going to be 90. So if I can find this angle, I can do 90 take away x will give me the bearing. And I'm going to find this angle using, what is it? SOHCAHTOA? Yes. So let's find the, I got cos. Cos x equals SOHCAHTOA, so it'll be 20.1 over 24.5. Okay, so then x equals cos inverse 20.1, 24.5, and put that in your calculator, you will get 34 degrees and 52 seconds. And if you take that away from 90, so the bearing equals 90 take away x, which is 34 degrees and 52 seconds. And if you do that, you'll get 55 degrees and 8 minutes. But if it's to the nearest degree, answer is, the bearing is 55. Okay? So, read the question carefully. Remember roughs? Read the question, understand the question, feel to the question, think about the formula, solve and check. Right? So, with the bearing questions like this, yeah, read the question carefully. Now, what is the surface area of the square pyramid? So I'm gonna square pyramid. Let's see if I can sketch it. Sketch it nicely. That'll do. Okay, so inside. Alright, so that's so it's a square pyramid, so they're all the same. And that's 24 centimeters. The height of the pyramid is 16. Okay, so that's not too bad. Alright, now we have to find this surface area. The surface area, I can have 1, 2, 3. So 4 triangle, area of the triangle, plus the base, which is a square. So that's just, so I need to find the triangle, area of triangle, because, and then if I can find that, I'll just times by 4, will be everything same. Okay, so I'm going to looking at this right now. Slant height will be right there. That's my slant height. Okay, so and then my height is right there in the middle, right there, and it goes this way. So that's my 16. So I'm taking this out right now to look like this. So just easier for us to see. So that's a 16. That's a slant height, which is this. Okay, that's less. And this part is a half of 24. Half of 24, because it's right in the middle of the center there. So it'll be 12. Okay, so that's not too bad. Use a Pythagoras. L equals, its hypotenuse, 16 square plus 12 square. If you put that in your calculator, you get 20. So your slant height is 20. So what is my area for the triangle? This triangle, I will go, that triangle has 24, slant height is 20. Okay, so surface area equals 4 times this triangle, half times base times height, and then plus the base, which is 24 times 24, which is 24 squared, because it's a square. So put that all in your calculator, you will get, this part will be 960, this part will be 576, and altogether 1,536 centimeters squared. Okay, So use a calculator and do it. Excellent. That was at the end of the measurement and geometry one. Now we're going with the statistics and probability. That's the last part of this video, which will be great. Okay, listen carefully. I have this Venn diagram. Just 3. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, listen carefully. The Venn diagram shows 3 characteristics of members of a class of 24 students. Okay, so that's a class. We have a basketball. I'm just going to say B. Basketball players. And then there's a guitar player. And there's a red hair people. Okay, so I'm just going to put the numbers in there. Let's see if I can use different color. I'm just trying not to use too many different colors, because then I don't know whether it's going to come off pretty well. And then there's no one there. Okay, so to find the total number, you just have to add all this together, okay, which is 24. 24, okay? Well, but then the question says members of a class of 24 students, yeah? So you know it's 24. All right, so anyway, the question is, if one member of the class is chosen at random, what is the probability that they are a red-haired guitar player, or, so I'm going to say red-haired guitar player, or basketball player? Okay, so we know it's going to be 24 because that's the total. Now, red-haired guitar player. So what does that mean? Red. So I'm going to go with red hair guitar player together. That's a 2 circle there, and have to find the intersect of that, which is 3 and 1. Okay, so I'm looking at the guitar player, I'm looking at the red hair, and these are the common part, 3 and 1. So I'll put that in. Now, basketball. This is the basketball here. Okay, that basketball has to be related to this red hair guitar as well, but that 2 parts with combined basketball, which is, okay, so I'm gonna have, so basketball player, how many basketball player we got? 3. But in that, the intersect part is also a basketball player, isn't it? So you have to put 4 and 2. We don't put 3 because we already counted there. So you go 4, 2. So think about it. Guitar player and red is 3, 1. Basketball player is 3, but then the intersect part of the guitar player and red hair, they got basketball player in it as well as a common part, intersect part, okay? So when you do that, you get 13 out of 24. Excellent, we can't simplify that, and that's it. All right, so think about that carefully. All right, so next one. I knew it. The red is the problem color. So I shall not use any red from now on. It's a bit hard to get off. Okay, so next question, let's have a look. Next question is, in a card game, Dip draws 2 cards from a shuffled stack of 4 cards. 2 of the cards are hearts, and the other are spades and clubs. The tree diagram shows the possible combinations he could draw. So let's have a look. So we got 4 cards. 2 of them is a heart, and 1 is a spades, and the clubs. Okay, So that's the first pick. We're going to pick 2 cards. So if I've done that, I'm going to left with, so there's no replacement, okay? I'm taking it out. And then second one, you'll have 3 choices. First time you pick it, there's 4 cards. So you've got 4 choices. But after you pick the first one out, you're left with 3 cards, okay? So 3. So it'll be heart, spades, club. Heart, spades, club. Now, if it's a spades, it'll be heart, heart, club. If it's a club, heart, heart, spades. Okay? So I'm going to put the outcomes here. HS, HC, SH, SH, CH, CH, CS. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Now, question is, what is the probability that one of the cards he draws is a spade? So you could have a spade and something else, or something else with a spade. So there's two choices there, okay? So what's happening? Let's have a look at that. So anything with a spade. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of, oh, by the way, what's the total? 3, 4, 12. So it's a half, okay? So the answer is half. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, so next one. Aha. The blue is not a good color either. So I'm just going to use black pen for next questions. Blue one is worse than red, and I'm not very happy about these colors choices that I had. Sorry about that. Okay, so next question. Okay. Now this is a unique calculator because we're going to do standard deviation here. Which set of data below has a standard deviation greater than 1.8? So standard deviation 1.8. Now set standard deviation greater will be greater than. So I'll go. Yeah, greater. So set A, set B. A, I've got 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. Set B, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. Okay, so we need to find the standard deviation for set A, standard deviation for set B. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to call out the steps of calculator and you just have to follow it. So get your calculator ready. So I'm going to find the set A, standard deviation for set A. So you have to, if your calculator doesn't have a frequency table, you need to create one. So this is a step. Shift mode, I'm using Casio, okay? Casio FX82AU+. So frequency table, I'm going to add the frequency table, shift mode, go down a bit and then go to the stat, which is number 3, and it will say frequency table on, okay, on. After that you go mode, state 1, okay, statistics, state 1, and then you enter the data. You will actually have to create table, will be better for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then how many? 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. So in your calculator, this is your x, that's your frequency. So you put that in your calculator, and then you go AC, clear, and then shift 9, you go into the back to stat, and you press 4, which is a variable, and then 3 is your standard deviation, guys. So do that, and you will get 1.8586 something something something. Okay, so that's good. And then you need to clear the setting before you put the second data. Now this is how you clear. Shift number 9, 2 for clear the memory of it. You don't have to clear the whole thing. We just want to clear the memory, the previous data, and equals an AC. And then you do the same thing, mostat 1, and then you enter the data. You do the same thing here with the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's your x. F will be 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. Something like that. Okay? After that, you do the same AC, and then you do shift 9, go to the number 4, the variables, and then 3, which is this is the standard deviation, and which will give you 1.8586 dot dot dot. Now this is a problem here, they're both over 1.8. So this was actually multiple choice questions. A says set A, B says set B, C said both sets, D neither set. So answer is obviously C, because both of them is over 1.8. Okay, so careful about the standard deviation. How you memorize how to calculate standard deviation. Okay. So go through it. The steps that I just mentioned, listen a couple of times, write it somewhere, and memorize how to use your calculator carefully. Okay. All right. That comes to the last question. Extra bonus question. Sketch. Okay. Sketch y equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now this is the parabola. To have that, I'm just going to factorize this first to find the x-intercept. 1, 3 minus plus. So my x, when x-intercept will be when y equals 0. When y equals 0, I will get x equals minus 1 and 3. Okay, that's not bad. Y-intercept is x equals 0. When x equals 0, my y is minus 3. So, and it says showing the axis of symmetry and vertex. Alright, so let's have a look at this. Y, x, it's minus 1, 1, 2, 3. So it goes through here. Okay? And then minus 3. Okay, now my vertex, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is my axis of symmetry to start with, which is x equals 1. Now that's x coordinates of my vertex, because it's right in the middle. So when x equals 1, what's y? It'll be 1 minus 2 minus 3, which is minus 4. So minus 4, oops, minus 4, so here. So that's my vertex right there, which is 1 and minus 4. Now I'm going to draw, make sure your vertex is round. I'm assuming you will do much better than I did here. So vertex is 1 and minus 4. Your axis of symmetry is x equals 1. Okay, so make sure you show this, all that necessary stuff in the exam. good luck, people, and try to watch this more than once and try to learn it and do lots more questions from textbooks and math space and other things. Okay, see ya.